Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a little bit since I've made a video, but I'm back. I got plenty of trips planned. Today I'm doing an overnight trip here, Highway 215 behind me. And what I'm doing is I'm connecting the Middle Prong Wilderness to the Shining Rock Wilderness, starting with the Green Mountain Trail right there behind me. It goes through the rhododendrons and it goes uphill immediately, and it gets very steep in places. One of the harder trails in western North Carolina is what everyone says. I've done it before, but my intention is I'm going to go south and I'm going to connect with the Shining Rock Wilderness by crossing over Highway 215. I'm probably going to make camp somewhere between Devil's Courthouse, Sam's Knob, or Black Balsam, depending upon what time it is. I'm hoping to make camp by around 5:30 because the sun will set at around 6. So stay with me. I'm gonna make this a pretty epic journey and show you guys all the highlights in case you want to do this. So you see how steep it is, and I mean, it levels off once you get towards the top, and then it starts climbing a little bit gradually. But initially, when you start this trail, it's very steep, and I don't remember how much climbing it is or how many miles, but it's enough to really give you some punishment. But I mean, if you're in pretty good shape, you should be able to do this, but I would just take my time. All right, so I'm almost 6/10 of a mile in, and I've already climbed 914 feet. So just gives you understanding of how challenging this trail is. And I'm at about 4,000 feet now. I still have well over 1,000 feet to climb, so I'll give you updates as I go along, though. This is the first good view that I remember. 1.06 miles, 1,268 feet of elevation gain. And here's the long rock that you walk on. So this is the pine forest right here, about 2.7 miles in, and well over 2,000 feet of elevation gained. And I wanted to show you guys that this trail is not marked at all. So if you come out here, just make sure you have a map and a compass. I'm using GPS, but map and a compass is your best bet. So this is one of the most epic views on this trail. This is the Green Knob, right off the Green Mountain Trail. Sits at 5,900 feet elevation. You can see there's a fire pit here, so one could make camp here. I love it when you're walking along and you come upon a great view like this. So beautiful. There's a lot more snow at this elevation since we're close to 6,000 feet here. Still on the Green Mountain Trail, but snow is hard packed, so it's not too bad. So this is where the Green Mountain Trail exits the forest and enters the Fork Ridge Meadow, where you'll pick up the Mountains of Sea Trail and you'll descend from the meadow, and if you choose to, you can summit Mount Hardy from there. I'm not going to do that today because I'm running out of daylight. I only have 2.5 hours left, so I gotta hustle to make it to camp. I'm still trying to get to Shining Rock Wilderness, but I'm going to show you out here. this is what the Mountains to Sea Trail looks like in the deep dark pine forest of Middle Prong Wilderness. You see there's a lot of snow over here because it's so dark. The sun's light can't get through and melt it. So, gotta watch the footing. So I've made it to Highway 215 where I'm connecting to the Shining Rock Wilderness, and I'm taking Flat Laurel Creek where I'm gonna make camp somewhere between Wildcat Falls and Sam's Knob. So I decided to opt in for this option because I'm pretty worn out from that steep hike up the Green Mountain Trail, and I wanted an easier option to make camp, or to get to camp, because yeah, that wore me out because I haven't done a lot of hiking in about a month. So anyway, I'll show you the campsite when I get there. Hopefully it'll still be a little bit of daylight. All right, so this is the Flat Laurel Creek Trail. Cross Highway 215. Come down this wide dirt road. And let's see. Gotta cross here somewhere. I'll figure it out. This is the Twin Falls that Hank and I saw back in October when we did the Black Balsam Loop. We came down this trail and looped around on the Mountains to Sea Trail. Beautiful. All right, coming up on Wildcat Falls. Recently saw a promotion for this. I don't know if you'd call it that, but it was on Facebook. Since I have advertisements for all the hiking in Western North Carolina, but let's go and take a look at it. Oh, check this out first. That's pretty cool. See the old stone bridge? Looks better now than it did in the fall with the ice and snow. All right, folks, I've made it home for the night. This is my campsite right here by the creek with a little waterfall flowing into it. So, a little bit exposed, but I like it. It kind of reminds me of out west. Got a fire pit. I think I'm gonna make the tent right there. And I got the water right next to me, so should be a good night. Have a good view of the surrounding mountains. Sun is setting. It's 5:55, and I just made it. All right, 7:05. I'm watching Caveman TV here at camp. Waiting for my dinner. And tent is over there. So I'm right by the water. Lull me to sleep. It's gonna be a good night. Folks, thanks for watching. I'll show you what unveils tomorrow. Good morning, everyone. Made it to day 2. Slept warm, but I didn't sleep well. I just couldn't get very comfortable, so I was in and out of sleep. Anyway, it is almost 7. Sun is coming up on the horizon, and I got my breakfast here. Some coffee and oatmeal. Anyway, I'll be talking to you throughout the day, so I'll get back to you soon. So I meant to tell you guys, Last night the temperature went down to 25 according to my Garmin, and the high here was 45. When I went to bed last night at 8, where I got in my tent, it was 33 and dropping. So I mean, it felt cold, but I was pretty warm in my sleeping bag. But you see I'm bundled up like an Eskimo. I forgot my base layer, my Patagonia. So what I did is I used my Frog Togs rain jacket as a base layer, and I had sweat really profusely coming up Green Mountain, so I had to take off my down jacket because it was soaked. And it was dry by the time I reached camp, but I have both down jackets. This is the heavier one right here, the outer layer, the North Face, and my Columbia, the small one you always see me wearing these videos. And then I have the Frog Togs, and I have a t-shirt. So yeah, I was pretty comfortable. The only thing that really gets cold is my hands get cold, so, but that's just, you know, you're using your hands a lot out here to prepare meals and set up tents and stuff. So aside from that, I slept pretty comfortably. All right, I'm gonna show you guys around my camp a little bit because I couldn't really show it to you well last night because the sun had set. But you see the spot where I have my tent right here, how close I am to the creek. I had a fire last night, but there's not a lot of firewood around here, so I couldn't sustain it for long, but I had it while I was eating my dinner, so that was nice. But you see how nice this area is. Mountain over there and a mountain over there to keep me company. Check out how thick the ice is right here. Around the turn, there's Sam's Knob. There's Sam's Knob. It's the mountain I was camped next to. This is the big meadow between Black Balsam and Sam Knob. So I guess I'm gonna go up Sam's Knob. Where I came from, Black Balsam is the highest peak at 6,200 feet, directly ahead. And you could see the Ivestor Gap trail right here below the summits. That's Tennant Mountain, that conical shaped summit. The next big summit on the Art Lobe going north. Shining Rock is somewhere in between there and let's see here. Keep on going. You'll go to Cold Mountain around there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Ivestor Gap trail and I'm going to dip down here on the Fork Ridge trail to go back to close out the loop back to my car on Highway 215 near Sunburst campground. But something else I wanted to show you here. I just had a visual on it. It's very faint, so I'm going to zoom in. You see that tower right there? That is Mount Pisgah. The only mountain summit around here that has a tower on it, with the exception of Frying Pan, which is a old fire tower. That is some type of communications tower. Alright, I've reached the parking area for Sam's Knob and Black Balsam. I'm not going to go over Black Balsam today. I may be doing an Art Lobe through hike this winter, see how things go. But anyway, I've done a through hike of it before, and I also showed black balsam from the summit back in October with a friend when I did the loop with the Mountains of Sea Trail. But all right, this is where I make a left turn to get on the Fork Mountain Trail. Goes sharply to the left, right off the Ivestor Gap trail. All right, so not that far into the Fork Mountain Trail, and I've been here before, but the last time I was here was 2018. I don't remember this. I mean, there you see Ivestor Gap is over there, continuing on below the Balds, but this kind of looks like a landslide happened. I mean, I don't remember it, because I don't remember the trail being this narrow. So, interesting. I'll have to look into that. I'll tell you, when the trail is this narrow and it's packed with slippery snow, it's not easy to walk on it. This is one of the things I was a little bit worried about. Hopefully it won't be much of it, but I was worried about, because this trail is not well maintained, not heavily used, that there would be some minor issues with it, but I think it'll be all right. Just gotta keep going and deal with it. This is another spot I'd like to come back and camp at. It's really got some good views. This nice big field continues on over here. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been here. No, I've only been here in the colder months. Never been here in spring. It'd be nice to come back and see everything in bloom in spring. These are the remnants of the old logging era. The cables. You see how good the views are over here. All right, so that's where I came from, coming down the Fork Mountain Trail. And what I did, I made a mistake, because I didn't check the GPS for a little bit, and I kept going straight on this forest road, and the trail continues right there, pretty faintly, on the left, going uphill. So just be careful when you're coming out here. It's right near Birdstand Mountain where you make this left turn, if you're going back to 215 this way. It's gotta be Highway 215 down there, with the river coming down from the mountains. Alright, you can see the trail here, but just a word of advice. I had to keep checking the GPS to make sure I was on the trail, because it's pretty faint in places. So just be advised. So the trail comes out over there, back onto the forest road. So what I was thinking is, I don't remember taking the trail up and over Kathy's Ridge. I'm pretty sure I just stayed on the forest road, albeit I think it added 6/10 of a mile to the journey. But still, that Kathy's Ridge was a lot of uphill, more than I thought. So the GPS has me going off trail in places, so you can clearly see that the trail is laid out before you though. So what I would do in that case is just try not to veer too far away from the GPS track, but know that if you're parallel to it, you're following the trail. It's just that this isn't an exact science out here in the wilderness. So if you're not a fan of wilderness trails, then I'd suggest you probably not do this one. All right, so I'm descending a series of steep switchbacks where I'm losing approximately 1,300 feet of elevation in just over a mile. So it's pretty treacherous, so you gotta be careful. It's called the Turnpike Creek. Just wanted to show you this little waterfall. All right, down there is a river, which I'm gonna ford. Get back to the car on Highway 215. Wanted to show you this imposing mountain right before me. That's the Green Mountain that I went up yesterday. You actually get a good view of it from over here, adjacent to the river. I'm just above the river. You can see it's a pretty big mountain. All right, so this is the trail's terminus. You cross the river, and it suggests crossing here at this point, but I don't like it. I think this is where I crossed before. If I was following the GPS correctly last time, 3.5 years ago, but you see it's pretty deep and swift here. Would have been better crossing down there. It looks more calm, not so deep. Anyway, I'm gonna figure it out, and I'll show you as I'm crossing if I can. Oh, by the way, here's the trail. Descends steeply at this point, but it's not that high above. It's just right there. Well, I think I'm gonna go in here. It's the best bet. Still some swift current over there, but oh well, we'll see how it goes. Whew, it's cold. Not fun. All right, let me turn this off now so I don't accidentally drop it. All right, I'm in the middle of the river now. This is the best bet. It's most shallow and least current. It's pretty deep right there though, so gotta watch my footing. All right, I made it across, but my feet are freezing cold, so I'm gonna cross the road and go back to my car and warm up, change my socks. Folks, thanks for watching. Once again, it was an amazing journey. Appreciate all the support you guys show me.